Okay, welcome guys. We're back with Worldly Wednesdays, and we're looking at, of course, Distant Worlds 2, continuing on the game that we've been playing for quite some time now, which is pretty cool. So we're just going to go and continue our Wekaris faction playthrough, and I've entitled this one, if you're watching on YouTube, The Lost Atuuks World, because I was looking at this just before and thinking, what do we do next? Because we're still at war with the Dayuts, and so the Dayuts have sort of been pushing down. They did actually control a lot of this area back and through here at one point. In fact, at the start of the game, they pretty much had all of this under their control, or they sort of very quickly got it under their control. We've wrested a lot of these back, and we'll do a bit of a deep dive into what the planets actually are and what they're doing. And I was then thinking, okay, well, now it's time for me to consolidate. We've just taken one of their major planets, which is down through here. We've still got the invasion forces sitting here. In fact, it literally just happened. What's that one there? Incoming fleet detected. I'll come to that one in just a minute, but if you have a look at the message log, colony has just been conquered, so basically at the end of the previous month. So we're about a week after the colony has been conquered, and so we invaded and taken over the colony of Abupabor of the Dayut surveillance oligarchy. And so this one here is, we've still got all of our troops on the ground. So we've literally just sort of landed there. And of course they're unhappy, so the population is very, very angry just because they literally have just been taken over. And so we've taken this world, which then sort of stabilizes this region of space for us. And this is actually an important region. So getting that planet was actually an important consideration. Hi John, how are you going? Hope you're doing well, and hope anyone that is watching is doing well. And hope everyone that's not watching is doing well as well. So if you're not watching this, then my best wishes to you. Anyway, let's continue on. I've only just woken up, so I'm going to be a little bit sort of groggy, I guess, with this. Anyway, we've got different things that are sort of happening with the Dayuts. We're doing very, very well in terms of the war score. I'm tempted now to go and take this world here, and the reason I hovered over it and thought, actually, that's not a Dayut world, that's an Atuuks world. And so I've labelled this episode the Lost World of the Atuuks, because this is actually an Atuuks world that has been taken over by the Dayuts at some point in the distant past. So we're not even sort of really sure what's going on there. Now, the reason that this is attractive to me, this little forest moon here, is because it literally only has 8 Atuuks on it. They're fully assimilated into the Dayut faction, but they assimilate incredibly quickly. And what that would then mean is that if we did take this particular world, we'd end up with a world even further into this region of space, and really stabilizing all of this for us for a very, very and basically it would actually come on board very, very quickly. Which would then sort of mean that we wouldn't have to, we wouldn't be paying massive maintenance on that world. It would very quickly become a viable and important money earner for us. Essentially, it won't earn a lot of money. If we have a look at the various colonies, for example, if I go into the conquered, actually I'll do it this way up through here. I won't do that. I'll just minimize that. And if we just go across up into our colonies and have a look at the summaries, you'll see there that the one that we just took over to the Abupabor is in through here is actually costing me 7,000 per year, just in trying to keep it there. And it's also very, very unhappy because this is essentially a Dayut world that is not assimilated yet. We have another one, a world that actually flipped to us way, way back. And so they actually are fully assimilated, like they're 100%, I believe. Yeah, we've got Atuuks there as well, but it's mainly Dayuts that are actually on this world with full assimilation. And so they're actually, but the Atuuks we actually have on this world are also growing fairly quickly. So the Atuuks and the Dayuts, actually, and the Tikans as well, would sort of share the same type of worlds that they would both like. I don't really want Atuuks throughout all the colonies as such. In fact, getting the Atuuks is going to then significantly hinder our research. That may be a reason not to actually go for that world. When they do become assimilated, that could be a problem. Yeah, that's actually a tricky one. If we have a look at the at currently what our bonuses all are. Like all research, we're getting plus 30 at the moment. And you can see there we're getting 10% from being Wekarus. But if we take on a world like this, we're going to then start to get some issues. Let's go and have a look at and see what a few of the other factions actually do have. So if we have a look at because we do have now a Dayut world. If we go to alien races and go to Dayuts, what do they have natively? They have good hyperdrive research in through here. War weariness reduction is also coming through. So if we go and have a look at at some of these, where's war weariness? I think it's only when it gets assimilated that it'll actually happen, but I thought it may sort of help a little bit. There we go, 34%. See how we're getting plus 4% from the Dayuts? So it's applying the war weariness of 15. We're getting 4% of that because 24% of that 15 is being applied from the Dayuts, and so we are getting that benefit slightly. That will increase as we assimilate more and more Dayuts into our empire. So essentially, it will change what we do. And so with the Dayuts, there's not really a big problem with having them actually as like in our empire. The bonuses are all positive. So ground attack strength there as well. The hyperdrive research. If we look at hyperdrive, that should also be just like we've got 7%. Actually, that's from the Xenox. Oh, that's accuracy. Hyperdrive research. Where's that? It's going to be up and through here. So you can see through there we're getting like 2% because it's being applied at 24% with the Dayuts and through that other side as well. So we're getting it, and I'm not sure exactly how the 24% is calculated. It may be that the percentage of Dayuts that we actually have on the planets, we're not getting any of, even though we've got Atuuks, they're not really, they're not big enough yet to actually have an impact. But they will. And if we have a look at the Atuuks, they have a whole lot of negatives. And this is a problem. If we start to take Atuuk worlds, yeah, this is actually, I'm thinking we do get colony happiness. This gives us money. Oh boy, that's a tricky one. Because everything is impacted in a very, very negative way. Yeah, it's a tricky one, that one. That's a real tricky one because if we take this world where there's like a fairly large percentage, as they become assimilated, our research will drop. Like depending on the percentage of our, I guess the percentage of our actual of our empire. Doesn't matter. The colony happiness is something that that's worth a lot of money. So we get money, but we at the expense of other things. Yeah, it's a tricky one, that one. Real tricky one. Diplomacy goes down. That doesn't really matter that much. All this espionage goes down, which actually does matter, but not by much. It won't go down dramatically. Yeah, that's a really hard one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way we go with that one. Hi, Skedek, how are you going? So, and Kira saying hello, and Tenru saying hi as well. And good morning from Florida, says Steve. So good morning back. And Sithil saying hi as well. So there we are. Getting a fair few different people across the interwebs. Actually, it's funny, Skedek. I was reading when I woke up. I wake up too early, so I just started to sort of read some Reddit posts and things like that. I came across one of your posts actually because I will be doing a stream tomorrow on Field of Glory Kingdoms, and I did actually sort of see like a fairly detailed response that you'd written to somebody who was actually asking what Field of Glory actually had. So I sort of read the post, and then I looked up and thought, oh, that's actually Skedek who wrote that post. A fairly scathing post as well. But no, it was very interesting. It was a good summary actually of the game, and also of the negatives of the game. To be honest, it was pretty cool. So there will be. I should just say that tomorrow I will be doing a live stream. It'll be in about what will it be in about 30 hours from now, I guess. I'll be looking at to do a live stream for Field of Glory Kingdoms with the new Raj and Tribes DLC. Sort of just going through that particular one. So if you are interested in that game, then I'll definitely be sort of covering that one in a fair bit of depth. Anyway, let's continue on. So where we are, but yeah, it was just funny actually. So Skitty saying, "Oh, I don't really remember writing that." It was about a year ago, like from when it came up, because I was like, it's sort of funny. Like I did on a chat tactic on when was it, on Monday? I was like just 2 days ago now, but I was actually I do read a lot of the comments that do come through. I often don't respond to them, but I do read them, and it was just interesting because the chat as well as the comments were all about how people struggled getting into the actual game itself, and I thought, well, that's actually something that I really should try to address, when I do a live stream, as to try to help people with those sorts of issues, like as in how to sort of how to make the game more immersive, I guess. And so I was actually just doing a little bit of reading on where like questions people had, like in a broader sense, and that was where your answer actually came up. But yeah, no, it was on Reddit on a Reddit post. Hi, Monkastrap saying, do I need the DLC for this, or is a base game enough? Base game is certainly enough just to get started. Like, you've got 7 factions at the start. Of course, you can't play with the Wakaris or the Atuuks, or the Dayots that we're sort of fighting against. But generally, just to get a feel for whether you like the game or not, the base game is certainly enough. The DLC mainly adds in like different factions, so that you end up with like a couple of different factions with each of the actual DLCs. And if you like the game, you want the DLCs. But if if at least the base game, you'll get a feel whether you actually want to be playing it or not. So I'd say that initially you don't really need it. There is also another DLC which brings in sort of other mechanics in the game. For example, that's Return of Shakturi. If you get that one, it's mainly late game stuff that gets added in, but you can also, if I go to diplomacy and through here, it does introduce an alliance system where you can ultimately form confederations, or federations in space. So very much like Star Trek, that sort of thing. So you can actually sort of then form these massive alliances, and this is actually part of the Shakturi edition. So the DLCs, I love them. Like, I think they add a lot to the game, but in each one of them, I really can't fault. There's not one that I don't like. They've done a really good job of them, but if you're just trying to get into the game, you don't need them. Monkastrap saying, I usually play as humans in sci-fi games. In that case, you don't just get the base game and just sort of start from there, really, and just to see how you go with it. See if you like the game. And humans are a very, very interesting faction in this game because they've got a lot of scope to move in different directions. Like, they're actually probably the most diverse and broad in the actual approach you can actually have to the game. In fact, if we have a quick look, I'll just show you. If we go across to the actual alien races and go to humans, so humans are a contradictory species, brutal in war, yet welcoming in fellowship, and it's sort of modelled that way in the game as well. Like, they're an aggressive faction, unlike a lot of games where the humans are sort of presented as being very moderate and very balanced. Not in this game. I mean, they can be. They're pretty good at diplomacy. So even though they can be aggressive, they can still be good at diplomacy. The thing that I guess that makes more sense is actually the different types of governments that you can actually then have, and you've got a fair few that you can actually play as the humans. So, like, republics and democracies are the main ones that they would then go and play as. Now, that doesn't mean that they automatically look for friends everywhere. Quite often they can be fairly aggressive, even with those two government types. But you also then have feudalism, monarchies, military dictatorships. Every start has also got a refugee fleet, which is a dramatically difficult. I think that may be from the Return of the Shakturi. I don't know if that's actually base game, that particular one, but the others are all pretty cool. Yeah, no, they're good. They're good, sort of middle of the road, but they also do have a lot of ways of operating. So they're an interesting faction in the game. They're not just the standard old Star Trek humans, where you're trying to be friendly with everything. So they're not really in that sort of sense. So Sizzle's saying, yeah, base game is all you need in that case. Yep. So Sizzle's saying, personally, I find humans very weird. I mean, let's heaps to come up with that. Just some tufts of hair on top. They look utterly ridiculous. But no, they're a good faction in the game. Like I've got to say, like they are interesting. And the fact that they can be diplomatic as well, like it gives you an interesting game. And you can see there some of the other benefits that they actually end up having. A lot of these will be to do with free trade agreements. When war is declared on you, either choose a new admiral or general with 2 positive traits, so hero of the hour, which is pretty cool. This is sort of like the special things that they get, internal debates. So when you sign a new defence treaty, obtain a capable new ambassador, but also 2 years decrease the colony happiness throughout your empire. So again, this is that sort of, I guess, that dichotomy of ideas where with us humans, where certain things will be supported and other things will be rejected. So it's got like sort of a bit of a double-edged sword there. Heightened security: when a foreign intelligence mission against you succeeds but is detected, you can choose to do different things there as well with your spies. New worlds: when you colonize or conquer a continental planet, obtain a free random colonization tech advance, which is actually really, really powerful. Large carriers, so they're carrier ships. Ultimately, this is not early game stuff, but sort of mid-late game, you end up with being able to sort of bring in more fighters, but that's not early game. So the early game, they're not strong with their fighter craft, but they are late game. And then they've got different traits in through there as well. But they're not a bad faction at all. Actually, they're quite interesting because they're not one-dimensional. They are very, very multi-dimensional. Most of the other factions actually are one-dimensional. Like from whether you're choosing sort of like evil factions like the bug factions, they tend to be one-dimensional. But particularly with the humans are, and so with the base game you're going to get Actarians, which are great. These are awesome with their fighter craft. So you got them. That's still my favourite faction in the game, to be honest. You end up with, so you got the Actarians, you got the Boskarans, which are your bug faction. You've got the Harkonish, which are still to be fleshed out yet. So the Harkonish will be fleshed out. These are sort of like a fairly aggressive trade guild type faction. Humans you get as well, which we just spoke about. The Mortallans you get, which is your reptilian, which are weaker than they should be in the game. Like I sort of hope that there's a bit of nerfing, a bit of buffing that goes on with them a little bit. Just they tend not to perform all that well in the game, not as well as they should. They should be an aggressive, like a big, it's not an aggressive in a wild way, but a very controlled aggression type faction, and they sort of end up being a bit weaker than they really should be. I find like they were one of my favourite factions in the original game, but in this one not so much, just because of how difficult they actually are to make them work with their combat. I don't think it needs much to fix that one, but they're just a little bit off. You also then have the Teekans, which are also yet to be fleshed out. This is another trade guild type faction, and the Xenox down through here, which is sort of like almost like a historian / researching type faction. So they sort of live on frozen worlds. So it's pretty cool. The base game is actually you'll certainly know if you like the game from the base game. So Steve is then saying, I believe Darwin came up with that idea. I'm not sure which one you mean. Sorry. Sketic's saying, when I am playing Distant Worlds 2, it seems like I get ganged up on a lot. I have allies, but they rarely seem to help me in wars. I remember a recent game where I was in a war with 20 different races. Were you playing Boscara or something? Anyway, let's continue on. So do we take this Atuuks world? I don't know. I think that it would secure all of this. This is their capital, with the star on it. So Upsilonus is actually where the main deities are from. If we took this world, it would give us all of this space in through here. The culture coming out of Upsilonus would actually ultimately sort of push back the borders a lot. It may even be that Nair ends up sort of inside the Dayot faction. But Guza should ultimately end up inside ours if we do take this particular world. I'm very tempted to go and grab it. So I'm thinking we might sort of start to maybe have that as a war goal for us. There should be the Dayots will be wanting to end this war pretty soon. Also, we do actually have another problem because the Boskarans are getting stronger and stronger on the border here, and they're expanding quite aggressively. And they've taken over there's a Akdarian world there, which I would also like to ultimately get. So in one sense, we need to crush the Dayots to a point where we can then protect this whole region. And taking this as well gives us a choke point there, essentially, where we'd end up with, if I've turned the long-range scanners on, in fact, I'll just turn those on as well so we can see the nebulas. So they're on. Long-range scanners as well. Now, the long-range scanners, you can see there, we've pretty much got good coverage out through here to see anything that's coming through. If we end up taking this world here, we can then get another long-range scanner in here as well, which will then essentially give us very, very good eyes out this way. When we have a look back over towards where into the Boskaran territory, we do have a long-range scanner down through there and another one back over through here. So they're pretty much so we can see when fleets are coming through. You can see there's a collection of ships coming this way. We don't know what that actually is. It could be a raiding group because they are starting to now move down into our territory. So that could become a bit of a problem. In fact, if I just unpause it, which way are they going? No, they're moving back out. I think that they were raiding and have now come back through. We've been having to fight a lot of raids, and we're using only the 4th Defence Force is not really strong enough to do this. We do actually have a bit of money at the moment. I'm thinking of raising this one up to to the next level of the way that I've got my fleet structured. So if we go into the military tab and then go into the fleet's templates, this here is actually a defence fleet. In fact, I'll just show you how this one then works. So the fleet template we're using is a defence fleet down through there. So that's the actual defence. That's what we end up having. I'm thinking of making it into an attack fleet and then buffing it out. So if we have a look at what we've actually got with our templates, and so you can got full control over these, but we've got the defence fleet. If we go and edit this one, has got 4 escorts and 4 frigates. So nothing big in this particular one. And so we're just using the heavy escorts and the frigates. That's all we're pretty much using for this particular fleet. If we have a look at the attack fleet and edit this one has got 6 escorts, 8 frigates, 2 fuel tankers, and 2 destroyers. Our destroyers are pretty weak, I've got to say, in comparison to most other factions. Once they get destroyers, they're looking at some pretty powerful ships. At one point, we're going to need to flick across and start to try to get cruisers, because I think that will be where we end up sort of getting like a lot of strength with our actual fleets itself. And so the attack fleets, this one really does flesh out. It more than doubles the power. And at the moment, we've had to run away with this small fourth fleet, and it's really the one protecting us from the sort of ravages of the Boskarans, which are sort of moving through and putting pressure on us. So I'm thinking we actually just go and raise that particular one. So if I go back into the actual fleet itself, grab the 4th fleet, and change its template to the attack fleet, it will then allow me to then top up this particular fleet with new ships. So let's go and do that. We're now going to be building all of these different ships, and then that will make that into a much more powerful fleet. So we'll just go that way. So I'll do that as required. We've got most of our fleets are out through here operating to try to take this region, to control this particular region. That's why I'm sort of half thinking, if we took the Garrus system, it would really sort of set us up for the future, I think. So I think we might actually look at doing that. Let's have a look at the Altar system, where we do actually have our invasion fleet. So at the moment we've got 2 fleets in through here. So we've got this is the first attack fleet back in through this other side. We've got some pirate ships in there as well that are sort of that we've captured. We also then have the various invasion forces that have actually just taken the world. Everything is set at the moment for garrison. That's the blue underline that we can sort of see through there. And what I'm thinking of doing is actually taking some of those and sort of ungarrisoning them. So if you go and click on the actual on the world itself, we've got these. Yeah, some of these are sort of almost destroyed. Like that one, very nearly got destroyed. So it's pretty much just sort of fleshing itself out. But some of these are maybe I'll leave it just for a little bit longer. Just let it sort of re-strengthen itself, I guess. So I'll leave it there for a little while. So we've got 2 fleets there, which are set to manual. We then actually have another attack fleet. This is going back to repair at Zrelis, which is actually a planet that we've just colonized. This particular one. This is a deep ocean world, and so eventually this will build up, but it's going to take a long time. I might just quickly go actually manage troops. I'll just go and grab a few more troops there. This one will become a bit of a target, so we do have to sort of have enough forces. We've got a small defense force back out through here as well, just on one of the other little colonies. Back over through here we have another defence force just sort of sitting in the middle there, and then we've pretty much got not much until we get back to our home territories. Another small defence force in through that side. We've got the 9th Fleet, which is being built up as well. That'll give us 2 attack fleets down in this region, and so that's going to have to be what we then use against the Boscara. Let's unpause and see what actually happens here. This is going to be we're going to have a big drain now after taking that particular world. So we won't, there's nothing really that we need to be rushing into. Here's our one. So we've got mining colonies in through here. I'll just dismiss that. So we're not going to be able to really protect it properly. Yeah, so mission complete. So one of our agents has carried out the territory map of the Boscara Overmind and end the war. So propose an immediate end to the war with the Atuuks. I'm going to decline that simply because we're ahead of them, like so far ahead. They've actually been able to do nothing. We've been able to destroy their fleets before they can really do anything because we've got such strong fleets in this region, but we are opening the back door for the Boscara. So we do have to keep on looking out for ships moving through our long-range scanners. Just let things sort of build up for a little bit longer. If we have a look at the war weariness, if we have a look at the... we've got war weariness is plus 1.6, so unjustified war declarations against us have given our population increased resolve, which is actually good. So we do actually have better resolve there. So we're actually in the positives. If we have a look at the Atuuks, their war weariness is -9. So they're actually starting to become a bit of a problem for them, which makes it difficult for them. So yeah, so in this sense, they're the only ones that we're actually at war with. Just let that one sort of keep on going. We have a couple of different things we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to destroy this, which what's the 7th like? 7th is, this is at Yarra Station. I still got the 1st sitting back in through here, and they're ready to go. What do we end up getting with that one? We just get a war score of plus 20k. New frigate completed. Okay, so we've got the we're just going to get a lot of these messages. The other thing we can do is we do actually have one where we can take over this enemy research station. We do get a research progress of 25% with fusion mastery, and also 25% with planetary shields. That would be nice to get that. Would be very nice. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. We'll come back to that one in just a minute. Let's go back to Roskiri, which is our capital, and just see what we're building on the actual, in terms of what we actually have through here. We can get more clone troops. And we've just got a few more. We can get clone troops fairly quickly. Again, it's a bit of a drain on our money. But we're going to have to start to crush the bugs. We're building different mining stations in these regions. Just pause and read a few more of the comments there. So Michael Strapp's saying it was 90% off, so not worried if I don't like it. Oh, it's 90% off now, is it? Didn't realise that. Let's have a quick look. I always like to, if it is that cheap, it's always good to highlight it. Is it on Steam? Is that 90% off on Steam? Distant Worlds. No, it's not 90% off for me. 50% off at the moment for me. There we go. CD keys it was. Okay, yep, there we are. Okay, so Raken Wolf was saying if I was to buy my first DLC for Distant Worlds 2, considering I haven't played it loads, which one would you recommend? Okay, let's have a look. I would recommend one of the factions, to be honest. So if we have a look at the the factions that we've got at the moment you've got 30% off for the Quamino and Gizareans. You also have 30% off for the Ikaru and the Dayuts. I would go Quamino and Gizareans as number one. What you end up with is a very, very aggressive faction. The Gizareans are probably overpowered in the game. These are a really cool faction to play. They're a bug faction, but they're not very smart. So they're very aggressive, but not very smart. So they're a good addition in the game. And the Quamino as well are more of a scientific sort of style faction, which I know a lot of people sort of gravitate towards doing science first. So they're a good choice to get both of those. I would say that that's probably the, that would be like a good one to go and get. Ikaru and Dayuts are good as well. Like the Dayuts are interesting, the Ikaru are interesting, they play quite differently. Atuuks and Wekaris as well, but this is only 10% off at this stage. Return of the Shakturi is, as I said before, is sort of a bit more late game with the way that it sort of does work. Just having a look at these, you've got positive reviews there. Positive, you got very positive in there for the Return of the Shakturi, but this is sort of more late game, so I would suggest that get one or two of the faction DLCs before you sort of do the others. I think would be the way to approach it, personally. Roken Wolf was saying lovely. Didn't realise there was a sale. Probably buy 2 DLCs. In that case, I would probably go with the 2 cheap ones. Like they're a bit cheaper than the others, so they're a good one. Return of the Shakturi, as I said, does add a lot of different mechanics to the game, which is pretty cool. But you probably want to have played the game a little bit before you really get into that one. Valanis is saying the Shakturi expansion is really focused on the endgame crisis. If you aren't a fan of that kind of thing or don't play that long, you won't get much out of it. And I'm in that category. There are still good things in it, but I'm somebody who doesn't tend to play these games all that long, and so I sort of don't play that deeply into it. Uncle Strap saying Distant Worlds 2 on CD keys is only at £1.49. Not sure what that translates to in local non-British heathen money. Yeah, I don't look CD keys. I don't know if I can. I don't know much about that one. So certainly the Humble Bundle also had like a good deal last month. I don't think it's going this month, but they did have a good deal for Distant Worlds last month as well. Me myself, and I was saying you're playing with too many opponents. So he's saying I survived, but it's weakened me a lot. You would think you do the same, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I wasn't able to, at least. Yeah, there we go. So, okay, Valanis is saying the CD type places often sell stolen keys, hence the price. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've certainly had bad experiences with CD key places. I know that I bought some games back in the day from those places, and they wouldn't work. And so yeah, I'm wary of promoting those locations. Anyway, let's continue on. So, but anyway, so it is a little bit off at the moment. So and so Steve is saying Return of the Shakturi is more for advanced players. Yeah, I would think so as well. Anyway, let's continue. So in this case, we'll start to sort of build up again for another push out into the Garrus system if this war continues. If we get completed, we're just going to get a lot of these as they build up the 9th as well as the 4th. Now we're building these from all over the Empire. Now, did we build a starport here? No, we didn't. So I'm going to build, this is a world that we do want to be building a starport on. So I'm just going to go and right click. I'm going to select the world. You can either just go down and select new ship or base and then just go and choose one of the spaceports. But if you're wanting to position it exactly in a position, and the attacks are most likely going to be coming from the, from the south, from the southeast. So I'm just going to select the actual world itself and then do a long right click just off the side here, and just build a small spaceport there. So we'll go and do that one. Yep, so that's all we can do, then go and build. So they'll build that one up. That will then be in the right direction for attacks that come in this from this direction. Now there's a group of ships, unknown ships coming in somewhere. So that looks like a little fleet. We can tell, and this is what I love about this game as well. It's the long-range scanners have, they don't give you all the information. There's a few things we can tell about these particular ships. These are unknown ships, but we know that they're Dayut ships at this point in time. These are too far out. These are unknown ships. They may be Dayuts, they could be anything. So at this point in time, the long-range scanners aren't really picking up what this ship is just yet. And then eventually they'll identify what these ships are. This one is a Dayut ship coming back in. Like they've got different mining ships and things that are also operating. Yeah, so this little triangle is showing us that we actually now have a fleet coming in. So we've got a fleet of ships, and we now know what this is. This is the 4th Strike Force, and we've got ourselves a destroyer. So one of the this is a Dayut destroyer on its way in to looks to be to raid into the system that we've just taken over. So that's really what they're going to be sort of doing. And we can see what's on this one. It's got plasma blaster, torpedoes, wave bomb. This is an area of effect. Like this is an area weapon. And it's just got a point defense weapon there as well. So that's actually the fields of fire. We can sort of see, these are really, really good ships, I've got to say. The Dayuts, if you do play as a Dayuts, they do have some pretty nice ships. Anyway, they're coming in. Looks like they're raiding the Altar system. Is where they're coming in, where we actually have our first attack force waiting. So they're going to have a very nasty surprise. Now, actually, should also point out that they don't have long-range scanners yet, and so they're actually they don't have vision into what's waiting for them. So they don't know what's going on. So they're just going to be coming in to try to do their raid without realizing that we've actually got like a major fleet here, which is going to then do some damage to them. Now, do I need the 6th back in through here? I'm going to see ships coming in. It's only going to be like this in through here is actually the Mortallans, which we're not at war with at all, and so that really in this area coming back into around the Nair system, I don't know if I need to have the 6th Defence Force sitting back here. I could actually move that off to one of the other locations, and so I'm thinking I might actually move that one back somewhere else. So if we go to the 6th Fleet, which I've just given a control group of number 6, so just when I press the 6 key, it comes up. Its home base is a Taft 2 mining station, which is in this location. I don't think it's anywhere near as important anymore. So let's now go and make this into the into what we have over this other location. Now, what have we got there? Nothing much there. So we do actually have this research base. Oh, sorry, you've got a mining station there. Should be a research station. There it is. Now, there's no fuel here, but let's make this the home base. So I'll set that as the home base for the 6th Defence Force, and because it's already set to automatically have this role, it will then just move itself across there. So it'll actually just look after itself. And so I'll just leave that one out through that side. That's ultimately where it's going to be protecting this region of space, which just means essentially just that one little area. So we'll leave that one there. I just don't trust the Boscarans at all. Oh, hang on, we've got a few different other things. We've got the more escorts being completed, frigate being completed. So detected after failing to steal information on enhanced engines from the Boscara devouring mass, so another Boscara faction. Our spy would almost certainly have been captured, but at the last moment a ghost spy from long ago appeared and warned our spy to flee. Apparently the intense stress of the mission established a strong connection to our ancestral psychic memories, causing them to actually manifest in our dimension in the form of a ghost spy. Playing as the Wekaris, we're sort of like a Cthulhu type faction, where we've sort of got like this almost like a psychic or a or sort of like a an otherworldly aspect. So we end up with ghost spies, ghost ships, all sorts of different ghostly sort of things that actually then come back through, playing as the Wekaris. New frigate completed. Yep, just go that way as well. So here comes their attack ships. These are unknown as well. Just see if these also are going to be attack groups. So they're bypassing that. That one's just a heavy escort. Here we go. All right, so we've actually now we're seeing the start of a whole lot of different fleets coming in. So as they've actually arranged themselves, we can now sort of see that their attack is actually coming in against the homeworld. So so they're bypassing everything that we've done, and fuel tank is complete. We'll just get rid of that one. So the fourth, like this is that's the 18th fleet there, and the 4th strike force, its actual flagship is back here. And so now we can sort of see the actual ships as part of that fleet. And so their goal is to actually hit back into our home systems, where we are building up the 9th fleet. So the 9th fleet will be there to wait for them. One of the big benefits that the DasTactic ships actually have, if I just go back and grab one of their ships and have a bit of a look at it, this is another destroyer. They've got a velocity drive, and what this one does is the hyperdrive speed is 600. Our maximum hyperdrive speed is 400. So they've got another 50% extra hyperdrive. So I can't catch them if we both leave at the same point to go and try to get back to a location, I won't be able to catch them. And so if there is, in this case, if I went back with one of the first attack force to try to go back and catch up with that when it actually arrives there, I'm just not going to be able to do it, because they'll already be way ahead of me because of their jump drive. My ships, for example, if I just go back and grab, say, the first fleet and just grab one of the ships from there and have a look at what we've got, our Jerax hyperdrive only has a hyperdrive speed of 400. So they've got an extra 50% more than what ours has got. So if they're here and we're here, by the time they get to Roskiri, they'll get to Roskiri and we'll still be back in here somewhere. So we'll still be sort of like a fairly long distance away from getting back to be able to control that. But we do actually have, again, they don't know what's there. We've got an 8th Defence Force, which is actually moving this one. Now this one's moving to the Roskiri 1 spaceport. If we go and look at the 8th, why is it doing that one? Its home base is we're defending all the targets that are in through here, and it now knows that there's this attack coming through, so it's automatically going back to protect the Roskiri spaceport. So by default, the game is just doing this anyway, which I love. So there's so much automation in the game if you set it up that way. So we've got that one coming back through, and we also have the 18th fleet, which is only a small fleet as well, which is also going to be trying to attack the Roskiri 1 spaceport. It's not going to work for them. Unless they come in with a massive fleet, it's just not going to happen. So this is why getting the Garrus system would be a good one for us to get, because we're going to have earlier warnings, and we can then sort of have less fleets protecting this region of space, because we'll see them coming. Essentially, we'll see them and we'll be close enough to still be able to catch up with them if they do bypass this early area. Hope that makes sense. But I don't need to get in the way of that. I'm not. It's not a big enough threat for us to really worry about. Hi, Course Lord, how are you going? Course Lord's redeemed a reward. Okay, so let's have a look now. If the 3rd fleet is the one that we're adding things to. Which one haven't we? Haven't named this one, this destroyer. We also have the belligerent warlord. I'll give you this fleet destroyer, which is a bit stronger, I think. Actually, no, I'll go back to normal destroyers, because at least they'll update over time. So just go back to the 3rd is actually where we've got most of the named ships. It's this one here. Of course, if it gets destroyed in combat, you'll be banned. So we're building ships all over the place. and then they'll sort of end up moving back to other locations. Now the third fleet is also repairing. I might just put that one back to defend as well. They defend out at Nair. Third fleet doesn't need to defend there actually. So they're going back in for repairs. Now they're offering to end the war. I'd like them to give me stuff though. So I'm going to decline this. So I'll decline this a few more times, and then we'll accept it. 18th Fleet is also coming in. We could see that one before. New fuel tanker. I'll keep the third fleet also, maybe just protecting Roskiri at this stage. So let's just go and put the third fleet, which is actually the one where we've got everything named, back into here. And make that the home base. So it's moving away from the Nair system. Now the Nair system is going to be left pretty unprotected, which is a little bit of a problem. Now this one here has come in. This one's just bouncing through. This is their 18th fleet. It's just doing a it's just recalibrating before it jumps. So it's going to be jumping across to there, then into the Roskiri system there. More ships coming in, just different fuel tankers that are part of the other fleets, just following in behind. Another fuel, that's a mining ship. This one here is just going into potentially just raid. We don't know what this one's doing. It's not part of any particular fleet. So yeah, these move very, very quickly. You can see how like the speed that we're moving compared to their ships, like they're so much faster. I'd love to get that. In fact, that may be something we try to secure in a peace agreement. So some of our ships are now moving back out to the other fleets. Unknown ancient ruins. I'll accept. I'll accept that. So these gave us ancient ruins. If we sort of scroll out, we should see. Yeah, there's a few flashing areas where there's actually ruins that we could potentially go to. Okay, the destroyer is under attack in through here. So we do actually have a that one ship that came in. Let's just have a bit of a look to see what's going on through this other side. So this has come in without knowing what's actually here, and so it's actually attacking the Ponicus, which is that ship there, and so our guys are just reacting to it. The fact that everything's sort of now pointing towards it's going to end up wanting to fix itself up. It's been disabled. Base rated. I'm not sure why we're not. I think we're trying to capture it. Still trying to jump. Let's just go and get the third fleet. Sorry, the first fleet, and just kill this thing off. Yeah, pirates are boarding some of our stations, which we can't do much about. Bang. Gone. We were trying to capture it. Here comes another fleet that we hadn't seen before. The 15th Strike Force is actually now moving. It's also moving to try to attack the main station. Okay, so we'll just keep that one coming through. So they did come from a region of space that we didn't see. Again, there's only minimal ships here. Now that's pirate ships are moving out. No, this is the Atuuks cartel. They're friendly with us. So if I haven't taken it, well, where is that one? So this is actually one where there's it's a Tekan world, but it's controlled by the Atuuks, or it was controlled by the Atuuks, and then the Gizarians have actually taken this world. This is miles away from where we are. We're just really looking back over here, but there's a lot of wars going on in this region of space that we don't know much about. We can see that there's borders here, but we don't know exactly who's who. There's different planets and things out that way. So, yeah, they're certainly coordinating their different fleets to come in to try to attack Roskiri. 6 is just going to bounce across into here. Here we go. We've got a defence force coming in to raid something. She's moving to Alfred 4, which is actually over here. So it's they've actually got a presence set back out this way. Until we actually end the war with the Dayots, I don't really want to go to war with the Boscara. Yeah, they've just got base groups in through that side. This will be their last hurrah, I think. I think that I don't think they're all that strong. They've sort of been at war with other factions as well. Frigate completed. This one here is actually still trying to limp back from a raid that we had done. We destroyed a pirate faction that was actually out here that was causing us a little bit of issue. We do actually have Valasar's Wrath is limping home. It's a long way off. So what I think I'll do is I'll actually send, if we have a look to see who's actually here to fight this. We have this is the 9th Fleet, which is an attack fleet, but we only have a small portion of these available at this stage. They're still being built. So they're actually sort of sitting back in around this location. Is that one there? Military tax. Yeah, so this is, yep, that's okay. In this case, we've got a little bit there. We also then have the, is that the 6th? No, that's the 8th. So we have the 8th there as well. But the 3rd is, except for Valasar's Wrath, is actually sitting back into here, just ready to act. And so they're waiting for Valasar's Wrath to make its way back in to get repaired. So let's not worry about let's actually make use of this one, and we'll actually now make it go manual rather than wait for that other ship. I could also take it out, but the fact it's a named ship, I think I'll just keep it where it is. So let's go across and just go and sit essentially in front of where they're likely to come. So let's just go and move into there. That one do it? Yeah, that moves. That then makes it into a manual fleet. So we'll still be behind some of the ships. So they're going to bounce. This one's going to bounce into there and then across. These are coming in, so these are going to get there before us. But you can see there the power that we now have is dramatically higher than these guys. The 6th is still moving out. The 4th is still building up, which is actually good. That's built up quite nicely. Eighteenth Fleet, yep, coming into Roskiri. Okay, we've got independent colony of Gizarians found somewhere else. Here they come. So we'll take the, we'll start to manually do these ones. So this is the 8th. So we're coming up against a group of, this one here is the destroyers, and then we've got frigates as well. So we have a quick look at what they've got. So they've only got torpedoes and blasters. Now the plasma blaster is actually a Boscaran weapon, so that's been stolen from the Boscarans. Could have even been stolen from us, because we also had stolen that from the Boscarans. So the plasma blaster is a fairly strong blaster. And then the torpedo as well. They've actually just got an Epsilon torpedo, version 2, which is fairly powerful. Of course, their destroyers are much stronger. So this one here with the, it's got the wave bomb, which area blast range of 120. Yeah, we'll sort of see how we go. Anyway, let's just let's just go after it with the 8th. So now these larger ships are going to be more dangerous. So let's just go and attack the Garrus Defiance. Now the planet itself has got administration complex. It's got a planetary beam defense, which is what we just saw there. So this actually has got its own beam attack, and so it's actually now attacking. You probably won't see it as to what it's actually doing, but this thing has taken some damage from the planet. So the planet is actually attacking back as well. Yeah, so look at this. Here we go. And then right on top, we've got the 3rd fleet now arriving, right on top of everything else. So let's just go and start to attack these. Again, planetary beams are now pushing them all away. They're getting away, unfortunately. We didn't get there in time. So they're escaping. There'll be more coming in. We'll just let them all sort of dribble in and just sort of knock them on the head, essentially, as they arrive. Yeah, it's pirate factions. It's too far away for us to worry about. And moving back to here. They're all damaged, so I don't think that they're going to be attacking the Cantrella system. Double check. Yeah, no, they're recollecting themselves, and then they'll go off somewhere else, possibly go home. So again, we're going to end up with some ships in here. I don't know where the 3rd got to. Oh, the 3rd has followed these in. Look, in that case, let's do what we can here. So the 3rd actually, because we could keep on tracking them, and we gave them the order to go after one of these ships. Let's go and attack these. Bjolf is under attack. There's the Bjolf there. Our ships are much faster in impulse drives, so we can close the gap. Trying to jump. And destroyed that one. They've jumped out. Then we've got the fleets coming in here now. Oops, it's still in space. That one's moving off to Cantrella. Again, that's actually now taken damage. Its reactor is offline. Back in through here, we do have some injured ships from when they actually had come in. Again, the planet itself is defending a lot. So that's going to be the 8th again. And we also then have the 9th as well, which is now starting to participate as we get more and more ships. I'll just let them do their own thing in that system. The 8th, I'm going to put this one back to defense role. It'll then just look after itself. There was one ship that took a bit of damage there, but really won't be a big impact. Let's just get the 3rd and just watch what they do, because we're going to have these bouncing back in as well. It's jumping. back in. Now, with it being manually selected, you can see it's only got a 5,000 unit range, which is very, very small. Let's go back to here. We'll attack these ships. Here we go. It's actually it's evaded detection after successfully carrying out their mission to steal research information on fusion ignition, which would be good. So this is different tech that we're trying to steal. Let's have a quick look and see what that actually is. So we're going after the high-speed hyperdrives at this point in time, which is going to give us a jump there of getting close to the 600 of the Atuuks. But we've also then got the where do we get it? Quamino. I thought it was in here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Fusion ignition. So this is the Nova Core. This is awesome. This is has got so much energy output. These are great. And even though we're sort of ahead over through here a little bit, you can see there the reactor energy output is only 74, whereas these are 120, which is dramatic. Like if we can keep on stealing that, that's going to be that's going to really open up what we can do with our ships. So that would be awesome to get hold of that one. It just means that we can, instead of having 2 reactors on the majority of our ships, we can then just have 1, which then opens up a lot of space for weaponry or whatever else we actually want to go and get. Here we go. Now, is it going to jump away? Yes, it is. And it's gone. This thing's still trying to escape. Now, if we have a look at the third fleet is manually controlled. So I'm just going to go and tell it to stop everything it's doing, and I'm just going to go and put it back to a defend roll again. And so now it goes back to defending rolls for 50M. So when it's manually controlled, it's only 5,000, which is tiny, whereas 50M is, of course, a lot more. So 5,000 is really only in its direct areas. So these have both been set for their to be able to go off and do their own thing. So I'm actually happy enough for those to just keep on doing stuff automatically. Okay, now the third it's interesting because it was suggesting that we retrofit this, but there's nothing we should be retrofitting to. Here comes the 6th Defence Force, just to move on out to here. What I might do is just go and excuse me, grab a few more fuel tankers. Let's go and purchase those. I forgot to look at what was happening back over here. We don't worry too much about chasing that one down. So we can see how we're going with the on the planet here. You can see there we've now just got a smallish group. They're no longer as unhappy as what they once were. I'm going to decline that at this stage. So if we have a look at the groups, they're still building up. I'm just going to let them get on top of the build. Like this thing here is still got a long way to go. I think still under construction. This some sort of shipyard coming in. Don't know what it's doing. I'm just going to put my air conditioner on. I'll be right back. Just grab some soda water as well. What I don't want them doing is building anything in my territory. Of course. Okay, so what have you done? Galaxy map of the Boscara Overmind. That could be interesting. No, we're still not seeing out through this other side. Boscara Overmind. No, that's the devouring. That's the Boscara devouring mass. That one's still making its way through to this system over here, where they do have a bit of a presence. Until we actually go to war with them, I'll let them have what they've got there. Now the fourth, I'm going to go and put it back to the defense role that it had. Now that it's actually a fully fledged attack fleet, it's going to be able to defend itself, and it wasn't able to do that before. Let's try and move away. Okay, the Atuuks have invaded and taken over a world from the Gizarians. This is actually a Dayut world, but it's the Gizarians, I think, controlled it. So this is way back over here. Again, our main area of operation is back into this other side. Now, what are they offering this time? It's still not offering us enough. Do it ourselves. God, they don't have much that they will give us. No, forget that. Never mind. Goodbye. I'm sort of wanting them to offer me more things, but they are struggling. That strike force is trying to get back home. And a lot of their ships now are sort of disabled, and you know, they're going to be sort of all over the place. That's a big fleet coming back in. Now that's interesting. So they've actually moved out from here, and this is actually an invasion fleet from the Dayuts, which have been operating, looks like they've been operating way out over here. As we start to look at these ships coming through, there's a lot of them. Still got fuel. And if we go and grab the actual fleet, we're going to get an idea as to what the troops are unknown at this stage. But that's a lot of ships. Let's assign these missions as they're sort of doing different things. Here we go. So incoming fleet detected. 7th invasion fleet of the Dayuts have been detected travelling on an attack towards Iblonius, back in through here, which is just a small colony. We'll move across then to get in the middle of that one. So so this fleet here, which is the 7th, is its mission is ultimately to invade that particular system. So we can see through there, they've got 12 infantry, 3 armour. So this is actually a substantial fleet that's coming back through. Now we do actually have our 5th, we also have our 1st backing through this other side. So what we'll do is we'll just, and again, we don't think that they've got long range scanners. In fact, if we go back to this system here, just have a quick look and see what's actually on their spaceport. Yeah, there's no long range scanners there at all. So at this stage, they don't really have a way of seeing what's going on. What's that one there? That's a resort base. Again, just double check. Yeah, nothing there. Nothing there. Okay, so that's actually pretty cool. So real Chidenko saying, just in Worlds 2, the planet strikes back. There we go. So Valanus is saying, I love stacking the planets with the defensive structures. It gets kind of silly with all of the types firing. Yeah, it's sort of it's interesting what they've done. Like in recent times, they've sort of fleshed that out more with the game as well. So at the moment, all we've got left in through here is the 7th defense, which is literally just defending this little group. But we do actually have the mighty 5th sitting right here as well. And so they're going off to attack this particular ship coming back in. But what I think I'll do is I'll just manually go and tell it to go and protect the colony, which is back out here. This is the volcanic moon, where there's a mining operation essentially for Zentabia fluid. So they're likely to come back in over here. So let's just go and tell them to move. And again, that's now changed them to go and only target units that are 5,000 range. What I could do is I could actually also go back and say, this is your new home base. And in fact, that's... if I go and... There was actually a mission there, but I could actually go back and set that one up. But if we just go and say like that's their role, is like their home base is now going to be Iblionis, and in this case, what we'll do is we'll tell it to go back into a defensive position, and its tactics will not be to be 50M range, but will to be just at the same location, which is going to be essentially around this location here. So we'll just go and tell it to go and do that. Now its 5th is, yeah, it's just going to be moving out to there anyway. So let's actually just go across and just wait for that one to appear. But we'll monitor these as they come in. Fuel tanker completed. 15 strike force is going towards Nair. Now there's Nair without the apostrophe, and then there's Nair out here somewhere. Yeah, there. That's alright. I'm just going to let them do their own thing. I can't really protect that. If we can crush these fleets, this will be great. This one's trying to get back out. There's nothing much else left over here. It's under attack. Yeah, they're trying to end the war. We should end up... You can see that we don't have any unhappy planets anymore. I want to destroy as much as I possibly can of their stuff. So I don't want to do it just yet. Let's just decline that war ending. Decline that. Let's have a quick look at the colonies. This thing's still going at negative 7,000. But it's now sort of becoming a bit happier. active war mission, research new technology. Now this is, what's this one do? Enhanced countermeasures. I'll accept that. That'll just become one of the war missions that we end up having. Now we've lost the war mission to take the research base from there. So this is just on the outside edge of. This is why again it would be cool for us to get this. But as we saw, as we came through, we could sort of pick up their chat, I guess, and sort of start to get ready for them coming back in. So they should bounce in and then bounce back off again. And we should start to see them streaming down towards the Yaris system very, very soon. To go after that small moon. I might crash this one. So I'll pay those costs and then countermeasures. Let's just go and grab that as well while we're here. Where is that? I always thought it was towards the bottom. It's going to save us a bit of money as well, actually getting the logistics. Yeah, missing it. Countermeasures. Bio. Should be down in here. I'm missing it. Yeah, sure it's down this way somewhere. It's research labs. It's commerce. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ah, there it is. Enhanced countermeasures there. So that's the one it wants us to go and get. I'll grab that as well. I'll pay the cost and I'll move that one up. So that's a war. That's a war score one. At this stage, they haven't they've actually destroyed one base and one ship at this stage. So not really a hell of a lot. We should see them start to move down this way. Soonish, I would guess. I'm guessing they're just going to be refueling. Okay, the small spaceport is now done there. More ships arriving. The Altar system is ultimately a fairly important one for us because we can now start to build things from here once we get enough supply coming into this particular location, which doesn't have a hell of a lot just yet, but it will eventually. Here it comes. Okay, so we've now got our invasion on the way. And they are lining up the Yaris system. So in they come. Don't know what all that is up there. Here it comes. Do they travel fast? Well, we'll be able to get close to them now with what's coming, like with our with this tech. Now, what we don't want to have happen is for the 5th to suddenly decide that they need to go off and do something else. Pirates attacking different things. All right, this will be an interesting battle because there's a bit to consider with this particular attack. We've got the 5th, which is right where we want them to be, right in front of the planet, with the ships coming in now. And what we'll do is we'll go to half speed and just sort of go through and do a bit of a deep dive into what we're targeting and how we're going to sort of then finish them off. We want to kill off as many of these as we possibly can. Go to 50% speed at the moment. Now we've still got the 7th, which is sitting back out over through here, which has got no mission. They're still under defense, but they're not seeing this as a big enough threat yet to go in and help out. But let's move it across just so we've got both of them. This will become a manual fleet. This one is still automatic, but we'll just watch what actually happens as these arrive. They're all coming in as a clump. Now what we need to do is we need to target we don't have very many troops on board here, so we have to stop them before they arrive on the actual planet itself. So in they come, right. So with the actual ships that we've got, as we go to each one of them, this one has got nothing on board, nothing. That one's got 3 infantry. That one there's got 5 infantry. 2 armor and 1, so these are all fairly important. That's just an escort, like a frigate that's just escorting the group. So these early ones are not really important. There's still more on the way, still more ships that are coming in. So there's a lot more that we can sort of see. If I just go back and grab the 7th Invasion Fleet. So we've got ultimately, there's only 3 armor, there's only 1 other armor and 12 infantry. So yeah, we might as well start to now move our forces across to intercept these. So the 5th is, and again, they don't have long range scanners, so they've just literally popped into here and then thought, oh, this is not good. Let's start with this one. So we're just going to go and tell it to attack this particular location. Particular ship. They're using torpedoes. Ikaru have taken over from the Atuuks. That's interesting. So Ikaru and the Atuuks must be at war. They're not jumping yet. It's got its reactor offline, it can't get away, but there's nothing on board. Our agent, so they've been discovered there. I'm going to decline that. This thing should be destroyed. Alright, next one is this one here with 5. We also have this one here with 2 and 1. That one's not doing much. Just see if we can find the other one. No, none of those have got the other stuff. So just grab the 5th again and just come straight after this one here. Now the 7th have just arrived. So I'm just going to grab those and have them come after that one there. Damage yet. Jumping. It has been disabled, but it can still jump. Come on, guys. Smash it before it can jump. Got it. Okay, that's good. That's a heap of them gone. That one's now moving away. Where's the one with the other other ones? Have they gone as well? Yeah, there's nothing much else left in here. The 5th. Might as well now go after the bigger ships. And then the 7th. They've escaped. Alright, so with that one there, they're now moving back. If we have a look at the 7th Defence Force. So if we just go and grab that. Oh, sorry, that's the 7th Defence. 7th Invasion Force. That one there. So they've still got 4 infantry, 3 armour. So they've escaped, but they're now moving back to the garrison system. Let's now go after them. So that we've sort of knocked them on the head, and our war weariness is now starting to kick in. So we now probably do need to start to look at ending the war before that gets too extravagant. Let's take the garrison system now. So we go across with the 5th, the mighty 5th, and we'll just send it straight in to take this this particular station. Attack the station, there we are. So they can go in, the 7th can stay where it is, the 7th will just set the one back to its defence role, and then the 2nd is one that we want to start to tweak here. So we're going to, now if we have a look at the actual world itself, we do have 1 infantry that's not part of the garrison, which is okay. I'll go in with that. So with the 2nd, we'll tell him to now go and pick up, load troops at this particular system. This one is, we're still going to have some problems here. That one there is still very, very weak. I might see if I can actually just tweak that one a little bit. If we go and have a look at the actual colony details, this one here, I'm going to garrison that one. Actually, no, it's already got the it's already got its orders. It's just so weak, that's all. All right, we'll just try to figure out what to do with it. So we'll see if we can take this world, and then we'll go from there. So we'll follow it in. They're going to, of course, get there well and truly before us. There's another little group now following in through here, which we should see as it passes close to these other ships. No, not quite. 2nd has now got 1 infantry, 10 armour, and we'll tell it to go and invade this planet. Yep, so just got a little strike force coming through. That's not going to worry us. So the 5th is now moving off. And they've got other forces now coming back in as well. So PS is saying, do you get any salvage for destroying enemy ships? Yes, you do. Yeah, so if we have a look at back at this location, where is it? What we should find is just debris left in space, and it's really a first come, best served. So there's all these different fragments floating around, which we can then, like other ships will then start to sort of move in. Like this is a light transport. It's transporting cargo. It will probably start to then go and try to get stuff. We've got a tourist group that may also start to pick it up. We've got a light freighter there, also just transporting cargo, but these ships may end up just trying to go and grab what they can. I could send the 7th in to find it as well, but I'll just let the ships just do their own thing at this stage. So a bit of a group in through that side. We're just passing those as they're coming in. Now they're going to be going back in for here to repair, I would assume. Now the first attack force has only got a range of 5,000. They are coming in right here anyway. So, what's their home base is Yarra Station, which I won't worry about. I'm just going to go and set this one as the home base there, and we'll just put them also to defend, which will be 50M. That way they're going to have a bigger area of operation. Haven't been too bad in behind these other ships. So they should be destroyed. So they'll be smashed as they come through. You can see there that the numbers that we actually have in our fleets now is dramatically higher than what they've got. Our power is a lot more. Now the second, I'm thinking I'm going to delay this just for a little bit. Enhanced bombardment from the Boscara, that's actually pretty cool. I'll stop what they're doing. Just leave them in space for now until we sort of clear the way. Okay, so we've got this one here. We've got a bit of a attack going in. So what we'll do is we'll just clear out what we can. So in this instance, we've now got the 5th has just come in on top of all of these. So this is the 7th Invasion Fleet. Where are those ships? There's that one there has got a fair few. So it's this one here. Let's go and attack this one. To half speed. Oh, that one there, actually. Those ships appearing. Just trying to escape. I'll go after this one. Clear out all of these things. That's great. That's more of their attack force is now gone. I don't think there's much left. Let's just have a quick look and see if we grab the 7th Invasion Fleet. Yeah, all of their infantry and armor now have been destroyed. So it's now just a matter of cleaning up. So with the 5th, we'll just get rid of the things that can escape. Some of our ships are taking a little bit of damage. Nothing too badly. Here. going on. This resort base is taking damage, but it's the flying ships that we want to sort of be destroying. And at this stage, because there's no more troops, it's more the ones that will do damage. It's been destroyed. Alright, so that's now been taken out. There's still more ships coming in around to try to defend this. So just destroy as many of these as we possibly can. Before we do the invasion. Punish them severely for declaring war on us. So this fleet has come in to try to protect them. 13th Defence Force, they're just not strong enough. Look, our attack fleets are now so much bigger than the Dayot fleets. If the Boskarans declare war, then it's going to be a different matter. The Wekaris also have like a very, very powerful beam weapon. It's just these white things that we're seeing through here, like it's like a pulse. Let's strike force, we'll get rid of that one. Still the 7th. Them around to take that one on. It's a destroyer. Actually, I want to keep them all together. So I'm going to move them out to here. I don't want them going on either side of the planet. Second is still just sitting there, waiting to go in. Still only -1 war weariness at this stage. Let's attack the spaceport. It's a ghost ship. More destroyers coming. So this is the Atuuks world, where it's basically just Atuuks. And so we'll end up taking this world. Hopefully. There is a little bit of, we've got a little bit of protection there. So this spaceport will start to take down. Again, we haven't really taken any damage here, so we're doing very, very well here. Slowly getting down the shielding. Taking damage in here now, but nothing's really broken through much. this long now. Got it. All right. Let's keep on attacking these. So this is now sort of open. There is a bit of defense there. There's nothing really on the planet itself. So we'll go in and this one does have a presence out here now with a mining station, but it won't really matter that much. There's a ghost ship of ours going off to attack that. So time for the second to come in and drop its armoured forces. Do a prepare and invade. That way we should have them going relatively at the same speed. Just keep these coming in. We're now salvaging those from that fight in the Yarra system. So we're starting to now find different things. Now this is the 9th. I will actually assign that mission. So that's way back in the home territory. So it's actually going off, wanting to find something in the Cantrilla system, which is fine. There'll be something there. I'm not sure what it will be, but we won't worry about that for now. Now we do actually have other forces now coming in. Their 10th fleet. This is actually, we're not at war with them, but they will. They've got a strength of 4,800. If you have a look at the 4th fleet, so they're going to probably come in and try to raid the 4th fleet. Ours is about the same, not quite there, but it's close. So they keep on pushing hard. We're not at war with them, but they just keep on pushing hard. And so I'm assuming we're going to have to fight this one fairly soon, but let's just keep this one going for now. I mean, this one's sort of, the interest of this one is almost completely over now. So with the 5th, I'm now going to blockade the planet. Blockade, which will just sort of allow us to surround it. This will help for when the invasion fleet goes in. Let's just watch from a bit of a distance here what's going to happen in here. 10th fleet. Yeah, it's coming in to try to attack our 4th fleet. Is what it's going to be trying to do. Now this is going to be a fairly powerful group. You can see that they've got fleet targeting of plus 11% back and through there. So they're actually using Gizzerian designs. Got fuel tankers. They've got a few frigates. Frigates aren't such a problem with Boscarans. Oh, here we go. Now, urgent warning from the Blackstorm Council. So, hail, Dirtsider, we're not friends or allies, but you should know that the Hive, an ancient foe to all, a terror from the time beyond remembering, has returned. We've just heard one of our picket ships that a Hive ship now approached our system. The Hive, to put this into perspective, have been building up in here. Like there's actually a massive amount of Hive ships that have just been in stasis. So there's... in fact, we're not seeing much there. Where was it? Over here. So these are, there's actually Hive ships that are, there's troop transports, there's battleships and things, but there's big Hive ships. Look at a big Hive carrier, for example. And these have just been sitting around. They've been asleep, but they will come to life. There's another Hive carrier there. These are massively powerful. Like it's, I don't know if we can even, can we see what they've got? So this is what they've got. Like they've just got heaps and heaps. Lots and lots of starfighter bays. So these are monstrously big. Very, very powerful. Sort of these are sort of ancient enemies that have just been sitting around in space, waiting to come to life. Which means that we've got like each one of these ships is like we're going to need a full fleet to basically take out even one of these ships. So that's sort of, and they've been sitting in around here. So this is now I don't know if we go and have a bit of a look. I don't know if this will then show us. Take me to the location of the angry wound, which was here. So again, we're getting Hive ships back in through this other side. And they'll just get stronger and stronger. Yay, goal. So this is back over here, close to where we are. So we've got... we cannot defeat them on our own. We are proud, but without your help we are doomed. If you join us in defeating the Hive, we will join your empire. If you stand aside, then you will earn our future contempt. So this is the Blackstorm Council. This is actually a pirate faction. Blackstorm Council, which are the group here. So I'm going to say we will help you, I think. We'll just pause that for a second. So that means we're now going to have to sort of take on the Hive ships as well as they sort of come along. We have befriended this particular pirate group. Let's watch this go in. So this, we won't have it all our own way here with our invasion, but we will be going in with armour, which will give us a bit of an advantage to a degree. But there are a fair few troops here, and our troops, yeah, as I said before, they're a bit injured. Building another ship. This is where it's going to get interesting. So the 4th are sitting around this research station, but we don't have very much. We have a scientist there. Imperial Atuuks oligarchy. Okay, so they're actually still invading as well. Our invasion will go in very, very soon now. So we've got 2 things happening now on either side of the galaxy, or not the galaxy, either side of the empire. These are now getting closer. They'll start to start their invasion. Just keeping ships away. The actual invasion itself. Yeah, let's sign that. Alright, let's have a look and see. We should end up having this fight just about to start. Actually, we'll come back to that one. We'll just watch the... There's too much going on. I like that you can pause this, but we'll start to see these will actually now launch their troops once they've got them in range. So they're now ready to launch. There we go. Invading the enemy colony. So if we just go and have a bit of a look, so this will then be the invasion coming in. There'll be more and more arriving. So we have space control. We've got an armoured breakthrough already. We will suffer here a little bit, but the more armour we can bring in, there we go. So we now should have enough, I think, to be able to push this because of the extra bonuses that we end up having. Right, let's leave that. And so that's going to hopefully be successful. And then we've got this attack going in as well. Now this is... what's that? This is a whole lot of bombers. This one here has been the biggest pain in the bum for us. And we haven't been able to really sort of destroy it. This is actually an ancient ship, an ancient carrier, with lots and lots of fighter craft on it. So we have to not only deal with all the frigates that they've got, but I forgot about this thing. This one here is actually an old Xenox ship, a really ancient one. But it's got like a very, very powerful engines, lots and lots of shielding, starfighter bays in through there. It sort of carries a lot of, like it's got 9 interceptors, 9 bombers. So we're going to need to destroy those before we do much else. So we need to micro this particular attack a little bit. If you have a look at our ships, our frigates have got, if you have a look at the loadouts that we actually have on these things, we do actually have Sentinel multi-beams, which is what we're going to need to be using. So these are on the port side of our craft, with a 180 degree firing range. We have a plasma blaster, which is a Boscaran weapon, and a pulse wave cannon in there as well. But that's sort of the side that we need to be facing towards the enemy fighter craft. And if we have a look at the destroyers that we've got as well, just have a look and see what they've got. Again, they've got a Sentinel again facing that side. So port side is the side that we need to be using. So what we'll do is we'll move back away from the fleet. So grab the 4th and just sort of move it over to here. And that way we should be able to then take these out before they arrive too much. I don't really want to be attacking everything else as well as the small craft. Come on, guys. Start firing. Actually letting them through. We're not at war with them, and I think that's the we don't want to fire the first shot. Now they're firing. Now we're going for it because we've just been attacked. So now we have to get rid of these bombers. If we leave the bombers alone, they'll rip us apart. We're now going back after the other ships. So let's now start to smash these. We'll start to, we just have to sort of allow our other ships to do what they're going to be doing. They've made peace. Let's go back into here again. How are we going here? It's very, very close. This is very close. Looks like we've got a ghost battalion that's joined us as well. Yeah, ghost troops have actually joined us in this sense. So we just have to keep on trying to push. So they've got 25% because they've got a fortified line. If we can get rid of enough of them, and unfortunately we haven't really destroyed many of them as well. So they have a bit of an advantage here. But we do have like an armoured breakthrough plus space control, but this still could be anyone's fight. So we have to be a bit careful with that one. Let's just go back across to the Boscarans attacking. If I can grab that carrier, that would be awesome. Let's just go back to the 4th. I'm going to keep as many of mine together as we possibly can. We can start to bring this one down. This is such a hard one to bring down. Doing a little bit, but not a lot. This has been a real thorn in our side, this ship, since the start of the game. Down to 50%. Still staying there. Let's have a look and see how we're going with the invasion. Is it going to work? Oh dear, it's tight. We're sort of losing our troops now. So very, very close. That's going to give them a... Yeah, they've destroyed 5 of our troops in that attack at this stage. God, we need this. We need this down. Ships now in here as well. Destroying the research station. Yep, I'll accept that. Now that is... Yeah, Guzo, we can definitely do that. After this, even if the invasion fails, we'll still be able to go off and do that one. It's not, jumping yet. God, if we can take this down, that would be awesome. Getting more forces coming in. Okay, all their shielding is now down. Still not trying to jump yet. They've got a couple of admirals on board here. Chase it down, chase it down. It's not about losing fleets at this stage. So now it's trying to jump. Come on, do the damage, guys. Getting into position to jump. Will we do enough? It's still, yeah, it's really, there's still way too much stuff on it. It's going to get away, unfortunately. Alright, so that leaves the 4th to now go after all of these. Lost a couple of ships there. Alright, so I'm going to leave that because the rest of these aren't going to be, like, they're not going to have to worry too much about that particular ship. Let's go back into here and just see how we're going. Gee, this is tight. If we just kill a few more of their forces, like these, we're going to then ultimately get rid of the fortified line, and then they should collapse. There we go, still up. So I've got a few more. I'll lose this one. Probably before they lose that one. Oh, there we go, there we go. We've now got another ghost troop that's now come in to help. Come on, drop this one. Oh, there we go. We've now dropped. We've gone past their line. They should now collapse in a heap. Just got to hope this one survives. So we've got 2 ghost troops invading, which is helpful. So that should be okay. We'll just dismiss that. We'll stay where we are there. So the 5th is still sitting there. Okay, the Boscara Devouring Mass have sighted the Hive swarm near Yagdol 2 in the Yagdol system. So where's that? Yeah, that's the one that we saw there before. Now, Yagdol is too far away for us to worry about, so I'm not going to send any forces out that way, particularly when they're attacking my groups. So our forces, 4th. Just keep on replenishing the troops that we actually have here. I'll just put this one back down to a defensive role. So no mission. Their troops are still trying to escape. That heavy carrier, God, we got close. Yeah, unfortunately, it's sort of we're not going to be able to capture it now. But that was interesting. We sort of got close with that one. Did give them a bit of a blood nose. And now we have to take this, then we have to go and destroy this the station that's out here, because that's one of the important war scores that we end up having. That one there, which gives us research progress, which is what I want. So we'll take this one. This one should drop fairly soon. God, we were lucky with these ghost troops. There we are. Another one collapsed. Almost there. Gee, that was a very, very close battle, this one. There we go, down to 2. If it wasn't for these ghost troops, we wouldn't have got this. I think we're now picking up loot from around the combat that was in around here, I think. Yeah, we've now got okay, sort of getting overwhelming odds every so often. There we go. We're down to just 1 force now. 1 militia group. Hi Resmelin, how you going? And von Schweinhut. Okay, so here we go. We've actually location maps. While salvaging an escape pod in the Fellas system, we've made the following discovery. So Admiral, we've picked up detailed maps, but also this particular Admiral. This is a Gizarian Admiral. I don't know where he's from. If we just dismiss that, we'll have a look and see with the prisoners as to who that is, which group he's from. Probably a Dayut, I would imagine. There we go. Colony conquered. Wow, that was difficult. So dismiss that one. Now, they won't be all that unhappy. Just pause that for a second. So, with the group that we have through here, I'm going to just pause that one. Enhance bombardment. So we're getting more information there. So with the with this actual moon, I'm just going to go into manage troops and just going to go and build up a few different just Atuuks hunting parties, which are very, very weak. But at this stage, that's pretty much all I can really go and do. Let's get our second to now go back and pick up troops back at the homeworld, Roskiri. And we'll start to bring them out now to drop in at different other locations. So at Roskiri, we've got a fair few troops, and we'll just leave everything else where that is at this point in time. We're not going to sort of see any other issues, I don't think, so we'll just go in now with the 5th, which is can go off and attack this location. So we need to get rid of the research station, some mining station there, research station there, gives her a research station. So just go off and attack that with the 5th, and that will then give us this other war value as well. Like we'll end up getting this one, so that's the one that we're going to go after. Now we've still got the first attack force back this way, and we want to now go with the force that we end up having in here. These, because they're Atuuks, they will assimilate fairly fast. They're 0% at the moment, but they also won't be terribly unhappy. So I'm going to go and add another of the small spaceports. And so we'll just go and build a spaceport there. That way we can at least sort of start to get another long-range scanner in this region of space. Now the first, let's go and move them across to make that spaceport their home base. And because they're an auto, they'll just move across there. Now I don't know if we end up with that negative right from the very, very start. Yeah, we do. So we're getting, because the Atuuks are 16% now of our empire, we end up with -2% with all research, unfortunately. So as they become bigger and bigger, that's going to become a problem. But let's just roll with it at this stage. We should end up with more happiness to sort of counter that one. That was the issue with actually taking them over, was the negatives we're going to then go and get. Just get back up to normal speed. So we're picking up a bit of loot that was left over from these guys. 4th doesn't need anything else, that's all okay. Actually accept this once we kill this thing off. It may rust away before we get the chance, even though they're not offering us anything else. Here. Got it. Okay, technology recovered. So we end up getting towards planetary shields and enhanced torpedoes, which is good. We'll dismiss that one for a second, and then we'll accept this. Yeah, we'll go and need to build a research station. We need to destroy this. This becomes a problem now because I can't build the research station that we'd be wanting, but we'll get that eventually. I won't go crazy with trying to push things back. They certainly have this. They've got stuff now in our territory that we'll be able to get hold of. But this is now gives us a nice staging post for the future. It sort of means we've really got the Garrus system is now sort of at one end of the empire, and then the Fellas system is really the other side with where the fourth is. We're going to be able to start to now push things back and around. So that's all good. Happiness from complete war mission. There we go. So empire happiness goes up a little bit. That's then going to equate to money as well. Now the fifth, we no longer need it really in this region of space. What have we got there? We've got the second invasion fleet going back. We've got the seventh. We've got the seventh and the first, which I can just keep in this region. The fifth I can now move back, probably to Nair, just so that we've actually got it. So I'll move the fifth back this way. You can just sort of look after itself there automatically. So it's really only the second is the only one that doesn't actually have a role. The ninth is set for rating. I'll decline that for now. Yeah, I've done a good job there. That's that was good, that war. So we ended up sort of pushing it fairly far forward. Like we've been doing that for a few sessions now. So we've got the all of this system plus this system in through here. So we really now are on the doorstep of Upsilonus, on the Upsilonus system, and it shouldn't be going anywhere. Or Strike Force. There's nothing really for us to worry about with that. Yeah, everyone's saying, would it make sense to limit the Atuuks to the conquered planet? You know, I think it would. Offer a limited trade agreement. I'll offer the treaty, but I don't think they'll do it. If we do force them to basically only sort of go to this location, that probably would be a good thing. So if we go and do a resettle for all the Atuuks to all colonies, just so that they don't actually go to anything. So we apply that to all colonies. Oh, hang on, that's Dayuts as well. We want to resettle them. I'll just go and do them both manually. They're the two that we want to be sort of handling manually. We'll apply that to all colonies. So we'll apply to all colonies. And now for this one here, we'll actually just change this one with the Atuuks to accept, and then that's sort of now done. So the Atuuks will end up coming to this planet. It's a good idea actually to do that. And then I've got a couple of Dayut planets, so we'll just go across into this planet. In fact, what I might do at this, that's not it. Where is it? I might let both the Atuuks and the Dayuts settle on these worlds, and then also we've got Saddlebari back into here as well. Let them sit there as well. You've just got Dayuts on this world, so we won't move them off these worlds. Have a look at the actual colonies themselves. Yep, that's fine. We've got three. Oh no, one of them's just an outpost, which I'm not unhappy about moving them away from this. Just keep them contained. sort of treaties with us. So Rocklight saying the smaller ships kills better for you in the long run. I think it's sort of, you lose more of them though too. So it's sort of a bit of those like getting a cruiser now. I think would be good just for the protection. You sort of need a mix of things in your fleets. Like you can't just have one type of ship. Oh, actually that's not true as well. The Gizareans are very good with small ships. In fact, for them it works out better. We have to be careful also with the Boskarans because they're using Gizarean weaponry now. Their target tracking. Well, this is sort of, we've been able to expand fairly nicely in through here. Yeah, so they're actually looking to deal with this. Just sort of fighting in through here, a lot of fighting going on. We don't really need to worry about that one. Yeah, we're getting close now with this one. It's going to be over here somewhere, which we don't need to worry about. Okay, we're getting close now to getting this this jump drive, which I will then have to redesign all my ships once we get this. So we're getting close now. I'll have a quick look and see what else we've got. If there's anything that sort of we're moving across. Planetary shields now, we're starting to sort of make a bit of in-way through there. That could be useful in some instances. Weaponry, enhanced bombardment. We're very close with this one here with the atomic devastator. Hence torpedoes, we're getting closer. That would be good to get. 7 years though for that. Civilian ships were a little way off. The multi-role starships I do want to get as well, just to get the cruisers. Yeah, I'll just keep it going where it is. There's nothing much else that we've got, you know, that we can sort of go and do. Sector governance would start to be a good one for us. That's 15 years though for that one, which is a bit too far off. Let's just leave it there. It's saying very interesting constellation in this game, having all those hostile races at the doorstep. It's we started that on off. You can, when you start the game off, you can have extreme difficulty in terms of neighbours, and that's what we set up. So it was as difficult as we could get. So we've got Boscara, reptilians, more bugs out this way, more bugs out this way. So yeah, we're completely surrounded. The only friendly-ish factions are over here and here. So they're the only real potential. There is another one as well. Like there's a couple of little ones out this side as well that could become friendly at some point, but they're a long, long way away. Nearly there. 2 weeks. There we go. Okay, so we've we've now got the high speed hyperdrives, which is great. So we'll now just go in and redesign our ships. I sort by role, just so I've got all the escorts together. The only one that we're really designing is the heavy escort. We've got 45 of those in our fleets. So if I have a quick look at that one, just have a look to see, just so I get a bit familiar with what we actually have in it. 3 engines plus a thrust vector. There's the Jerax hyperdrive, which is size 18. The new one that's going to be coming is actually, let's just go back to latest per category. And I kind of wish this was the default. It makes it so much easier to see what's going on. The where are you? Where are you? There it is. Size 17. Okay, so it's not going to impact the actual layout of the ships at all. So I'll just do I can just upgrade this one. I'll just go and cancel that, and just do an upgrade. And that's just going to change that hyperdrive in through there. Everything else should stay pretty much the same. Single vector. Vectoring engine, that's a different one than what we had. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yep, that's all right. Just save and exit that one. Frigate should be the same. Upgrade. Again, we've got the hyperdrive. Got 5 left over, which we can't really, there's nothing much there for 5 except for, again, the single vector. Let's go and throw that in. So that gets us 1 off maximum. Everything else looks good. Save and exit. And then we've got the destroyer. I think they're the only manual ones that we actually had. Upgrade, got the single vector, got the different engines in through that side as well. We've got 10, we're 10 off. Not that I can really put much else on this ship. Yeah, we've pretty much got everything we need in here. It's just we don't have doesn't have great weaponry. That's really the only real problem with this one. So we'll save and exit that one through there. So that's actually pretty much all of the manual designs that we've now done. So we'll just go and leave those where they are. And I can then just tell some of the actual fleets to start to retrofit. Like the 4th is still sort of hovering off, so let's just go and tell it to go and do a retrofit to those designs at Roskiri 1. It's going in for repairs anyway. We'll just get that one to do a retrofit. We have the 8th Defence Force. Let's just go and tell that one to retrofit. This will still keep what it's got in through that side. The 2nd, I'll tell it to retrofit as well when it comes back in. The others, I'm going to probably keep them sort of back in through here somewhere. 7th, I'll just let them do their own retrofits. The 1st and the 5th. The 3rd is, it's also back at Roskiri. Tell it to retrofit. So Roskiri is going to get fairly, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on there. 4th is retrofitting. 5th is repairing at this stage. 6th, I'll just leave it with no mission. It's still got automatic missions. 7th I'll leave. 8th is going for retrofits. The 9th I'll let it just do its own thing as well, and then it'll automatically retrofit when it can. Let's just unpause. Just make sure we're not swamping Roskiri. Yeah, it'll sort of shuffle its way through. There's a bit of a fairly big long list there. Yeah, the 9th fleet is automatically going off to retrofit at the Cantrala system. And I'm thinking this one here, the 7th, is going off to retrofit at Zrelis 4. and the first is retrofitting at this system over through here. The fifth is repairing at this point in time. Alright, so that'll be good. That way, once we get these done, we're going to be able to then almost match the DasTactic in hyperspace. Almost. Hi Sev, how you going? Saying, how goes the campaigning? Good. We're actually now pushing a long way out now into the DasTactic territory. We did just take over the up to 29. Yeah, this is it's not terrible, but it's now that we've got the Atuuks, we're now getting some negatives coming through with a few of these different things, unfortunately, which we just have to be a little bit careful about. Colony happiness should start to go up a little bit. Get plus 5% from the Atuuk race. That's going to help. And in fact, even just being at 0 is going to give us more money. You can see there we've now hit the lead in terms of like we're not going as far negative as what we were. If we have a look at this, this is interesting. Like this planet will ultimately become quite a good money earner. It'll just take a little bit of time for that one to sort of then go and work. But things are looking good here. Now, eventually we're going to need to, we'll probably just end up destroying these different things that are in and around the place. I'll accept the trade just because we've got money. Okay, so we've got the 5th, which is operating from where? Near 2, so they're back over here. Change that to 50. 50M from that location. Might even make it 100M actually. So we've got more areas that we're still looking after at that point. Okay, they've actually now done their retrofit already. That's good. They're now moving back out to the Fellas system. So they'll be now jumping fast. What's this guy doing? Not sure what it's up to. Unknown mission. We won't worry about it. There's a few little ships there just moving through. So they've sighted the Hive back over here. This is the I don't know what they're firing. They're shooting at a Hive ship, I think. Yeah, so definitely this is going to explode with the Hives, particularly those carriers. The longer you leave the Hive to do their own thing, the more difficult they become. But we're going to need cruisers, I think, before we can really sort of do much else there. Just talk with the DasTactic. So they've got all these different mining bases inside our territory. So they want a lot of money for. So it's not worth paying that at all. We have a lot of their characters. Like a hell of a lot. Here with money again. Now they shouldn't be resistance of speaker. Not sure what that is. They're off to attack a ship. I'm going to decline that. They're not going to be friendly with us. We're sort of on our own a little bit. We are a bit of a pariah in the galaxy, even though we're not aggressive. Okay, we're just waiting now for something to happen. They're still retrofitting. I might change this back now to a raiding group. And we also then have the 5th as well. 5th is going out that way. The 1st is here. I'll make that into a raiding group. That way we should end up, like when things become a bit aggressive, we'll go off and take out a lot of the infrastructure that the Dayot still actually have inside our territory. Yeah, we've really expanded our territory actually. Like this is we've been playing the game for a long period, just zoomed in here because that's what we were, but we've now really got a lot more. If we go and have a look at the scores, we're coming 3rd now. We're still struggling here a little bit. Like the economy is terrible, population is low, and territory is still lowish. When we can compare it, but we're doing okay. Gizarians are miles out in front. They're nearly winning the game. So they are the biggest threat at this point in time. The Akdarians coming 2nd and then us. But they're a long, long way ahead. Like a hell of a long way. This often happens in the game where the Gizarians end up dominating, which is happening in our game as well. So they're this group in through here. Sixth has been updated now. They've been so they're now going to be moving back across. That's good. We've got a lot of ships now coming back from the Yaris system. Just bringing different resources back in from the edges of the Empire. Now look at the time, guys. I'm going to actually start to wind up and call it quits for today. Quimino have declared war on the Boscara devouring mass. This is the other group back in through here. I think it is. Yeah, this is the Overmind Ascendancy. Yeah, it's down over here. We're getting a lot of Hive activity in this region of space. But I'll have to leave it here, guys. So thanks for watching. And as I said before, I'll be back tomorrow for a fairly extended Field of Glory session. Like I'll probably play for maybe 3 or 4 hours, I think, just going through Field of Glory Kingdoms with the new DLC. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, as much as I'm looking forward to the DLC, I'm looking forward to the changes that are actually coming to the base game as well. So here we go. This is what do we have to do in here. I'll just sign that mission. I think there's some bugs in there. Yeah, there's a bug there. But yeah, I'm looking like I'm sort of, that's why I'm delaying my stream, just to wait, hopefully for the update to have arrived. I've been sort of told that the update will be coming around the same time as the DLC, but it maybe before, maybe after. But I'll sort of leave it there, and sort of see how we go, because there's some really interesting changes coming for the update. So as I said before, I'm as excited about the update as I am for the actual DLC itself. And there's some good things in the DLC as well that I've been sort of just testing a little bit, which is great. So, Widowmaker saying I love it. Love your stream, man. Have a great one. Thanks for that. And same to you guys as well. Hope you have a great day. Well, probably for a lot of you, you're heading into your evening. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow if you're around. Thanks for watching.